أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه وأرنا الباطل باطلا وارزقنا اجتنابه برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. O Lord, show us the good as good and bless us to follow it, and show us falsehood as falsehood, and help us to stay away from it with your mercy, O merciful one. وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Ameen. Ryan and Mariam, please begin and introduce the topic as well with everything that's written. Thank you.
Yeah, the 20th Flash on sincerity. While being the first of the 5 points which formed the second of the 7 matters of the 17th Flash, this became the 20th Flash because of its importance. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. The verse. Verily we sent the book down to you in truth, so worship God in sincerity, for God is sincerity practiced religion. And the noble saying of the Prophet, all men will perish except the scholars, and all scholars will perish except those who act in accordance with their knowledge, and all of them will perish except the sincere, and even the sincere are in great danger. Demonstrate together how important a principle of Islam is sincerity. From among the innumerable points concerning sincerity, we will briefly expound only 5.
Note: an auspicious sign of blessed Ispara, which causes one to offer thanks, is that compared with other places, there is no visible rivalry and dispute between the pious, those who follow the Sufi path, and the religious scholars, even if the required true love and union is not present. Comparatively speaking, there is no harmful rivalry and conflict.
An important and awesome question. Why is it that while the worldly and the neglectful and even the misguided and hypocrites cooperate without rivalry, the people of religion, the religious scholars, and those who follow the Sufi path oppose each other in rivalry, although they are the people, truth, and concord? Agreement belongs in reality to the people of concord, and dispute to the hypocrites. How is it that these two have changed places?
The answer. We will set forth 7 of the extremely numerous causes of this painful, disgraceful, and awesome situation. One that causes the zealous to weep.
Just as dispute among the people of the truth does not arise from lack of the truth, so too the agreement prevailing among the people of neglect does not arise from any possession of truth. Rather, it is that a specific duty and particular function has been assigned to the classes in society, like the worldly, those engaged in politics, and those who have received a secular education, and thus the functions of the various groups, societies, and communities have been defined and become distinguished from one another. Similarly, the material reward they are to receive for their functions in order to maintain a livelihood, as well as the moral reward that consists in the attention they receive from men for the sake of their ambition and pride. This too is established and specified. There is therefore nothing held in common to the degree that it might produce conflict, dissension, and rivalry. However evil be the path that they tread, they will be able to preserve unity and agreement.
But as for the people of religion, the worldly, those people whose view is restricted to the life of this world and who disregard the hereafter, or those who sell religion for this world. Be aware that the attention of men cannot be demanded, but only given. If it is given, one should not delight in it. If one delights in it, sincerity is lost, and hypocrisy hypocrisy takes its place. The attention of men, if accompanied by the desire for honor and fame, is not a reward and a prize, but a reproach and chastisement for lack of sincerity. Such attention of men, such honor and fame, harm sincerity, the source of vitality for all good deeds, and even though they yield a slight pleasure as far as the gate of the tomb, on the other side of that gate they take on the form of torment. One should not therefore desire the attention of men, but flee and shy away from it. Be warned, all you who worship fame and run after honor and rank.
But as for the people of religion, the scholars and those who follow the path, the duty of each is concerned with all men. Their material reward is not set and specified, and their share in social esteem and acceptance and public attention is not predetermined. Many may be candidates for the same position. Many hands may stretch out for each moral and material reward that is offered. Hence, it is that conflict and rivalry arise. Concord is changed into discord, and agreement into dispute.
Now, the cure and remedy for this appalling disease is sincerity. Sincerity may be attained by preferring the worship of God to the worship of one's own soul, by causing God's pleasure to vanquish the pleasure of the soul and the ego, and thus manifesting the meaning of the verse, "Really my reward is from God alone." By renouncing the material and moral reward to be had from men, and thus manifesting the meaning of the verse. Not is incumbent on the messenger, but conveying the message.
And by knowing that such matters as goodly acceptance and making a favorable impression and gaining the attention of men are God's concern and a favor from him, and that they play no part in conveying the message, which is one's own duty, nor are they necessary for it, nor is one charged with gaining them. By knowing this, a person will be successful in gaining sincerity, otherwise it will vanish.
One should also take as one's guide the quality of preferring others to oneself, the same quality of the companions that is praised in the Quran. For example, when giving a present or performing an act of charity, one should always prefer the recipient to ourselves, and without demanding or inwardly desiring any material reward for religious service, know one's act to be purely God's grace and not impose a sense of obligation on men. Nothing worldly should be sought in return for religious service, for otherwise sincerity will be lost. Men have many rights and claims, and may even deserve zakat, but it cannot be demanded. When one receives something, it cannot be said, "This is the reward for my service." Rather, in perfect contentment, one should always prefer to oneself others who are more deserving, thus manifesting the meaning of "they prefer others to themselves through poverty, but be their lost." one may be saved from this terrible danger and gain sincerity.
And that is the end to the first cause. Thank you very much, Mariam and Rayan, for a wonderful read. Alrighty, so let's dig into this. Is there anyone who wants to share their immediate takeaways from what was just read? Anything? So it's talking about sincerity, and well, we can look into the verses. So it starts off with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Verily, we send the book down to you in truth. So worship God in sincerity, for God's is sincerely practiced religion. Just a question that pops in: what does it mean to worship God in sincerity? So that's a question I'll just pose up to the group. Again, what do you all understand in terms of worshiping God in sincerity? Feel free to raise your hand or put a comment on the chat. Hatice Besa, go ahead, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Hoping that my comment will give others time to think about the question that you posed. I was thinking about I was looking back on my notes from the last time we had kind of read this, and I just wanted to kind of share some of those in relation to the question that you've asked. I think, a fundamental question this text aims to answer, and that we've kind of also been answering as well, leading up to sincerity from, frugality, is what does it mean for something to be sincere? And we had discussed about how, insofar as it pertaining to existence, making sense of it. So if I'm doing something, and if I do it sincerely, then in my doing of that thing, we had discussed how I have to put it into my beliefs into practice within its correct context and purpose, and not doing things for the sake of doing something. And I think, one other note that we had discussed, which I think is important, is how, like, in also trying to answer this question, how this verse and hadith kind of complement one another or support one another. So trying to understand the truth in the book that is revealed to me and how that enables me to worship God sincerely, along with, in worshiping or in doing something within its correct context, and not for the sake of doing it, for doing it for the purpose it was created for, with that consciousness being a sort of worship that allows me to, very broadly learn about my creator, my source of existence, and how to worship him in the book, or learning it through the book of creation and guidance that's being revealed to me, so that every step of whatever action that I take, I do that consciously, and then looking to him. I'm sorry, and not misappropriating anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Hatice Beza, for your comment and recapping a little bit of what we discussed previously and tying it in with frugality, which is really being in alignment with our true human nature. And I see Mariam Ostermer also has some interesting comments. So Mariam is saying to be connected with your creator at all times. Yeah, that's really the whole side of sincerity is also being true to your human nature, which is knowing what am I and who my Lord is. And you're also saying to be a practicing Muslim and to not lie to yourself or block out the truth. So your last comment also is along the lines of your first comment in terms of doing any sort of actions or analyzing my feelings and emotions by diverting it to the one that's bringing me into existence, which helps me to stay connected with my creator at all times. And it's interesting that, Mariam, you put in at all times, because I think that's where our training in this universe is all about, where we have to make sure that we are connected in communication with the source of our existence. I mean, we're always receiving something, and so we got to make sure that we are conscious of it, acknowledging it, and so on and so forth. So, okay, this is interesting because I was also, like Hatice Beza, looking into some of my notes that we discussed upon previously, and the verse, I sort of underlined this: we send the book down to you in truth. So what does that mean? The truth meaning that something is being made clear to me, and basically to explain to me what the truth is. And so going back to Mariam's comment also about bringing in to be a practicing Muslim or to practice a religion. So I remember last time we also said something along the lines of religion has something to do with my practical life, because here we are practically experiencing the universe. And so learning things itself is not enough. Like acquiring knowledge is not enough, but I need to put that knowledge into practice. So for example, y'all can watch a YouTube video on how to fix your bike. It's all good and stuff, but without actually implementing it or getting hands-on with your bike, then that learning from that video won't be enough. So everything needs to be applied and practiced. So let me check in if there's anyone else who wants to make a comment, or Mariam Ostermer, if you want to make some more comments, so go ahead. I see Ali Murmur. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, beautiful comments. And the subject is very hard to understand in terms of practice, and lots of concepts are sent here. Concepts are mentioned here. Worshipping God, as the initial question was about this, what does it mean to worship God in sincerity? And also Mariam introduced even more questions, more concerns. What does not lying to yourself mean? Or what does block out the truth mean? Or how are we going to do this? I thought for an initial reflection for myself, I think in order to understand this matter, we have to think about the word religion, which is mentioned in the verse itself. It said that, for God is sincerely practiced religion, although there is no practiced in the original language. Because it says, فاعبد الله مخلصا له الدين. Now, religion belongs to God. So worship God. Oh, sorry, what's that? Sorry, I'm confusing something here. Oh, excuse me, just if you hear me, I think you do, yeah. So as I was looking at the screen, my hand touched somewhere else. So it says, فَعْبُدِ اللَّهِ مُخْلِصًا. Worship God in sincerity or sincerely. And strange, lahuddin. Oh, this worshiping God sincerely has something to do with the reality that religion belongs to God. So I have to understand the word religion, and then I have to understand the word worshiping God, and then only then I can understand what worshiping God in sincerity means. So what is religion? I am just reflecting and thinking out loud together with you. What is religion? It is a very difficult word, as I found it. Some very commonly used words are really very difficult to understand. Oh, of course, the best example, although it is not our subject, but we have to watch out when we use the word belief. For example, belief, what does it mean? Equally important to question the word religion, ad-din, deen. What does it mean? So the linguistics, or linguistics, the people who study Quranic linguistics, they say religion comes from dain. Dain has a significant meaning, which means to be in debt. And also to be knowledgeable of something, to know something, comes from this word, dal, ya, nun. It means de, ya, ne. So to be in debt, debtor. So am I in debt to someone? As far as my financial side is concerned, it doesn't seem to be. But for my existential reality, I am in debt to the one who gave me existence, who created me. I am in debt to the one who gave all the qualities in my existence. So I have to pay back. I have to pay back what? Because it is given to me, it is not my property. I have to return it to its real owner. It doesn't mean that I have to kill myself. Killing means if someone gives you something, entrusts you something, or lends you something, you use it, but you don't own it. After you use it, you turn it back to its owner. If you destroy, kill the thing that somebody lent to you, then you are not returning it, you are destroying it. We have to return it. What does it mean? Practically speaking, I have to use it and while I am using my existence, my qualities in existence, in my existence, I have to return these qualities to their real owner, so that I have to pay back what I am indebted to the owner of my existence. How can we do that? By returning all the qualities while I am practicing them to their real owner. It doesn't mean, it means I cannot use them in my name. I cannot use them as I own them, as they are my property. I cannot use them because they are not mine. Whatever I do with them, however I use them, I have to acknowledge that these qualities do not belong to me. I think if we understand the meaning of the word religion, which is in Arabic origin, ad-din, this solves the problem of the other questions, worshiping God or worshiping God in sincerity. Now, worshiping God means acknowledging that your entire existence belongs to Him, and in practical life, returning all my qualities to their real owner and using them in His name. While I'm using, since He lent them to me, all the qualities, I say, this is not mine, the owner is Him. This, whatever the praise, whatever the value I can see in these qualities, all the values belong to its owner, not to me. I am just a user of them. I am just a means to practice them in this world, but while I am practicing them, I must declare that these qualities belong to their real owner, not to me. Sincerity is understood now when I understand what religion means. And as the Quran says, Lahuddin, the deen belongs to Him, that you have to worship Him who is called God. So religion belongs to God, and I have to worship Him. It means while I am using my existence, I have to declare the real owner and attribute all the qualities that I practice here to Him, saying that I can learn, I have memory. It is not me. The power, the ability to memorize something, the ability to learn is given to me by the one who is the owner of my learning capacity. I am just borrowing it from Him. But whatever the values I attach to it, that do not belong to me. They belong to Him. Because learning ability doesn't belong to me. If I return everything to its real owner and use it in His name, that is the only way I practice worshiping the real owner who's God. It means I practice sincerity in my practical life. I think worshiping God in sincerity is understood in this way, very simple, in a simple way. It is not very sophisticated, very complicated. I would just say, whatever the qualities you see in my being, whatever the qualities I am utilizing in my existence, all these qualities belong to him. I have no share over them. That makes the case clear. But what I would like to add to it now, to what Miriam wrote, they are very powerful phrases, actually, what Miriam wrote. I can apply what we explained here, what I explained here, as far as I can understand. You may agree, you may disagree. I respect you, your agreement or disagreement, but I would say, let me read what Miriam wrote. To be connected with your creator at all times. I have to attribute all the qualities to their real owner, who is my creator, and I have to use them in connection with him. It means I have to attribute all these qualities to him, and these qualities in my existence to him, and I have to be proud of his qualities, not my qualities. So to be connected means to be aware and to declare, to be aware that they don't belong to me, and to declare that they belong to my creator. So this is the first phrase. The second phrase, to be a practicing Muslim. Oh, this is something strange to me. Why strange? If someone is Muslim, must be a practicing. If someone is not practicing, it means he is not submitting. He is not a Muslim. But of course, in culture, Muslim means a person who believes in the Quranic teaching. It means what we are studying here, the verses of the Quran. Of course, there are some people, including myself, I am including myself in this category of people, they say they believe in Quran, but they don't return. They don't declare that their being belongs to the creator of the universe. So they act on their own name. This is the contradiction when you use this one, to be a practicing Muslim. If I am practicing, I am a Muslim. If I am not practicing, I am not submitting myself to my creator, although my social identity is a Muslim with capital M. It means, like, I am an American, I am an Italian, or I am a Muslim. But it doesn't mean that I really obey the laws of American law system, American constitution. I may not, I may fail. But this is a little bit problem, this sentence. But the next one is excellent. Not to lie to yourself. Oh yeah, my reality, not to lie to your reality. Yeah, that is excellent. I should not lie to my reality because I didn't create myself. My reality is that I am created, I am given my existence by someone else, and all the qualities in my existence do not belong to me. That is my reality. So I shouldn't lie to my reality. It means I must practice sincerity. I must return my debt to the one who lended my existence to me. That is excellent phrase. The other one is even better. Block out the truth. It means not do not block out the truth. Yes, excellent. Yes, my truth is I don't belong, my existence doesn't belong to me. So I shouldn't really block it out. I have to declare it and let it be exposed to everybody, saying that all qualities in my existence do not belong to me. They belong to the one who created me, who is the creator of the universe. So I must declare it clearly. I shouldn't hide it or divert it or really digress the direction of the real owner, as if returning to myself, saying that I have a brilliant memory, which I don't. So I know something, I can do good things, I am a good man. All these phrases explicitly blocks out the truth. So I think the verse explains what sincerity is at a starting point. Of course, it is easy to define, but it is not that easy to practice. Now we will talk about the practical side of it. Thank you.
MashaAllah. Thank you very much, Brother Ali, for your comments. It helps solidify that much better. Sincerity, worshiping God, and religion, everything is so intertwined, where it all boils down to me acknowledging my position in this universe, that, like you said, I'm created and I am given all my qualities, so I cannot claim ownership over it. Rather, I need to recognize that these are trusts or gifts or what else? Something like an endowment that has been given to me, and so I need to really return it with my consciousness, acknowledgement, being aware of this reality, and by declaring that I am given all this, and so I belong to the source of my existence, because what makes me is all the qualities and tools and everything that I'm endowed with. So alhamdulillah, thank you very much also, Mariam Ozdemir, for putting these comments up. Let's see if there's anyone else who would want to share something or make a comment. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that was an amazing explanation, alhamdulillah, for that. So I feel even the saying of the Prophet, upon whom be blessings and peace, in the following, next to the verse after that comes, that explains, I think it's somehow more about a practical side, as Brother Ali was saying, that, okay, it's good to know about the theoretical aspect of what it means to, what religion is, starts from us in terms of our recognizing who we are, our position, and seeing that all these qualities that I encounter, I see, and I'm using, I have to see that, hey, question them. Do they belong to me? Am I the owner? Is my intellect mine? Is my ability to run, to see, to walk, is that mine? I have to think about that. So if right now I can say, if I can sit here and say, I'm thinking, I don't think I'm giving existence to any of them. But as a practical side, and I am working, which is actually what everybody, I think, including myself, I'm trying to really be more aware and conscious of how I should be practicing this religious aspect, which we redefined here, I feel. Because religion is a very common phrase that's used all over the place. I'm sure everybody, as Brother Ali also mentioned it. And I think here we are kind of highlighting a little, more. I think it was pretty clear on how it made much more sense to me, like how I could see religion in the way it was, at least Brother Ali presented it, and that is something that is given by, it's not something I can say, hey, it's my religion. I can. That's, again, I would think that would be a wrong statement, but because did I establish all the things that I see in the world? Am I the one who is giving existence to anything in this world? The order that I see. So I cannot claim ownership of any of those things. So that's why I can see myself only as a recipient. I only am on the receiving side of things. Even including my power of choice, I cannot say, hey, I own my power of choice or free will, as you may say. So that is at least a new definition of religion. And then again, going back to the saying of the prophet, upon whom be blessings and peace, all men will perish except the scholars, and all the scholars will perish except those who act in accordance with their knowledge, and all of them will perish except the sincere, and even the sincere are in great danger. So as we understand from the prophet being somebody, as a human being who is guiding me alongside with what the Quranic teachings are, who's been employed to convey to me how to live my life with the recognition of my Lord, of my owner, whoever owns the qualities. So there's a formula that he is presenting here with this, and we kind of discussed this earlier. I remember now, a month ago, as Fariha and HBS have mentioned it, that we tied that this is, the hadith was the explanation of what the verse is, and they're pretty much tied together, go hand in hand. And we kind of touched upon, maybe scholars may not be the actual word as we are taking it right now, but anything as a human being, whatever we learn. So you can go to school and you can learn something, and when you learn something, is it enough? Like you go to school, but you don't go into the work field, or you don't practice whatever you learn. So you can take it as a human being's journey through life, whatever they're learning. And if they're seeking for the truth, so searching for, trying to understand what the truth is. And so that's what I would see how, this human journey, as the Prophet ﷺ is trying to explain, that, hey, you have to be careful in whatever you are learning, and even if you do whatever you learned, and do you act in accordance? I think I remember like the example from Brother Ali, if anybody can recall, about the rice. He said he invites somebody, and then
Just to cook rice.
I think he said initially he doesn't so the person doesn't know how to cook rice, and invites someone, and then say, hey, why did you invite me? You don't know how to cook it. So that was one stage. And then the next stage was, okay, I know how to cook. Let's say I watched a couple of YouTube videos on how cooking, the amazing cooking channels that are available, but I only watched them, but I never practically worked on them. Right. So now I only have the knowledge of that. Okay, this is how it's done, but I invited a person. I say, hey, I know how to cook the
omelets. Talk about your omelets.
Okay, omelets. Yes. Thank you for your help. Okay, I know how to cook omelets. It's very easy. By the way, I know how to cook omelets because I watched so many videos. Okay, and Faria will say, hey, but excuse me, can you only talk about your knowledge of the omelets? Oh, how about actually acting on that and showing what you learned? So again, that's when the next stage would be, okay, now, okay, let me practice it, act in accordance to what I have learned. So now I am practicing it, but now I don't offer it to Fariha. So Fariha will be like, okay, great. So that's the next stage. And then so the omelet, right? We are working on the omelet, the fluffy omelet. So even that is not enough, according to what the hadith is saying. So now I even offer to Fariha, but that's still not enough. that fluffy omelet. So now the problem is, why is that not enough? That's I think that we can put that as a question if any younger audiences would want to chime in, if they remember why is that my sharing of the omelet, and which is an analogy to, okay, let's say Fariha is putting the truth, but to Fariha, I've shared it now. I say, I made the omelet and here you go. This is how I cooked it and this is there. So even that is not enough. It's doing that is in great danger. So why is that? So I will leave it at that.
Oh, great. Thank you. That was great, mashallah. Yeah, I remember that example. So that's the question. So why wouldn't sharing of something to someone else not enough? And so in this verse, or it's a hadith.
It's a hadith.
Oh, it's a hadith. It's saying about knowledge. So if you know something and if you're sharing it with others, why wouldn't that be enough? For what? For
the last part.
To fulfill the purpose of my existence.
So even the sincere are in great danger. So there was a stage by stage, we worked through it, right? So I have knowledge, and then I cooked it, the omelet, and then I start sharing it. And I say, hey, yeah, here you go.
I'm the one who's presenting this to you.
So the question is, why are the sincere in danger? Why?
Okay.
How is that?
Okay, so here we go. That's the question. So people who are up here, especially the younger ones, why do you think
Sincere.
The sincere are in danger based on the example that Austin presented about the omelet? So you invite someone over and now you actually make the omelet and then you are sharing it with the others. And then you're saying, oh yeah, guess what? Look at that, check out my omelet. I'm so skillful, I made like a nice fluffy omelet. Why wouldn't that be enough? Why would that make me fall in danger? What's so dangerous about that? Any ideas? No? Connect this back to what Brother Ali presented about sincerity early on. So everything is bestowed to us, and then if I think that this is mine, so let's say I'm cooking, I'm like, yeah, that's my ability. Guess what? This got created, and then somebody says, this is delicious. I'm like, yep. I start taking credit for it. So then I think that will be the dangerous side of things. Does that make sense? Let me ask the younger audience. I know, like, we've been having a lot of fun jokes here. I don't know, does it make sense? Mariam, Ostomer, Mariam, and Rayan, or anybody else? Everyone is welcome to chime in. Or if Asifa, does it make sense? Or if you have any other examples, go for it. Okay, so I don't know. So we're thinking, and Hatice has put up a comment. Hatice, we all love to hear your voice. So can you please say out your comment? Okay, if not, okay, I'd love. Okay, maybe we can ask Ding Dong, Mariam, and Rayan. Assalamu alaikum. Can you please read up the comment that has been posted by Hatice?
Okay. One is still in danger even when one shares one's omelet, because by definition, to be a sincere omelet maker, it would require that one is aware that all these qualities to make an omelet and present it is given to me, and that even this realization itself, because it is being given, it is not guaranteed in and of itself.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, that's great. Thank you. You want to say something?
Do they agree?
Does it make sense to you guys? Come on, Mariam, Rayan, or Mariam Ostamir. I see a little clock up there. Okay, so Mariam and Rayan, go ahead, please.
So like when you're giving the omelet, you should present it nicely with love and care, so the person understands that you like whoever you're serving it to, they understand that you tried, you made it for them with all your effort, and so they know that you're caring for them, so that you're helping them with offering them something that they'd enjoy.
And like you should also be sincere when you're praying. So like since like when you're sincere to like giving the omelet to the person, like they know that you put a lot of effort in it, and that's how you should act like when you're praying, like you're praying for your creator and you're very sincere to him.
You should put effort in like when you're praying to the creator, because he created you, and yeah, it's love and care.
Mashallah, love and care, hashtag love. Yes, I just enjoy every time I hear this quality of love, because it's all around us. It's manifested throughout the universe, and so we just need to practice it in a more sincere way, like both of you said. And obviously everybody wants to be treated with love and care, and so yeah, that's always the first step, to present it to someone, and the second step is also to be doing it for in acknowledgement, just like Rayan said, of the one that has given me my ability to even experience the love or the care for others. So it's not in my own name that I'm made to love somebody. It's really, or care about someone. It's just given to me. That's how we are. I mean, I think we all can experience that growing up. Even now, like our mother's compassion is very unconditional love, and that's how things are, but it's given, it's bestowed. That's how the creator of the universe has set up the order where we experience all that. So alhamdulillah, thank you all for sharing your comments. It makes me realize that I personally have to be very careful in not falling into this danger attitude where I can go like maybe one step, two step, knowing, yeah, this doesn't belong to me, the eggs don't belong to me, the onions do not belong to me, they're created. And the mixing, yeah, it's part of the order. And then when I lit up the fire, guess what? It's brought into existence. And so when I mix up everything, whatever the result is created, yeah, it's not my doing, but I am presenting it in my name, then it just really throws me off the cliff. So like at every step of the way until the final execution, or if you will, like closing the loop of acknowledgement, or whatever analysis we're doing within ourselves should be made. So that's that. And I see Ali Murmur, your hand is up. Please go ahead.
I believe you explained what I wanted to say, but I wanted to speak to Mariam Rayan and give a practical example to make sure that what we understand from sincerity is not or should not be turned into, secular, non-believers' understanding of love and care. Now, can I speak to Mariam and Rayan?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So I invited you to my house. I hope one day we can realize this. When you come to New York, inshallah, we can practice this. Now, you came to my house and I made the omelet, let's say, it's just an example. And I offered you in a kind way, love and care. You may not notice what is going on in my mind, in my heart. Is it correct?
Yes.
But I am very kind to you. I am offering you in a loving way, in a very friendly way, compassionate way. So, but at the same time, is it possible that I may try to impress you? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible.
Is it also possible that I may be proud of my kindness?
Yeah, it's possible.
Possible. Now, let's go back to the sayings of the prophet, which we read today. Even if you practice it, yeah, you may perish, except you are sincere. Now, as Fariha explained, sincere means I am practicing love and care. I am offering the omelette to you in a loving and caring atmosphere, very friendly. But even the sincere, a practicing one may be sincerely offering you, it means in a loving and caring, but the sayings of the prophet says, even the sincere are in great danger. What does it mean? Taking my own practical life as an example, I may confuse, I may forget. Yes, I know that I am created by the creator of the universe, God. Yes, I confirm it. Yes, I confirm that my ability to make the omelette is also given to me by my creator, God. I do that. I also confirm that you are my visitors. So I have to be kind to you. But at the end, I may be proud of my kindness. I may be proud of my loving relationship with you and saying that I am a good man, feeling in this way. This is the danger. Although I practice offering you the omelette and being kind to you, but what may go on in my own feelings, I may be proud of this feeling. That is why I feel that sincerity needs consistency and constant realization that I may not forget at all that I have no share in my kindness, in my caring attitude towards you, and I have to offer everything to you in a kind and caring manner, but I have to say, thank God who created me. You created me with this ability. I am able to practice it, and I am thankful to you rather than to myself. So in this society that you and I are living together with these people, they say, do it loving and caring, but they don't say, acknowledge that and caring feelings do not belong to you as well. They also belong to the Creator, and your duty is to be thankful to your Creator because you were able to offer the omelette in a loving and caring way. In order to be able to do this, one has to be constantly conscious of his reality, as Maryam put it, Maryam Özdemir put it, not to contradict yourself. She said it beautifully, not to lie to yourself, not to block out the truth, that loving and caring feelings are also created in me, and it is a debt. It is my debt to my Creator to return it back to them, back to the Creator God. And I hope it makes sense. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, it does make sense. Miriam and Ryan, does it make sense? Do you want to?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to share out the additional layer of understanding you took away from this, or just anything in your own words? No pressure.
It's just like you're conscious, and it's like constantly cautious, like conscious, and like, and in order to be like sincere, like you have to like know what you're doing. And if you just want to be like, if you, and like Dr. Lee said that he wasn't proud, is it possible that you would be proud of yourself? And he said yes. And like, you know, and he said, is it possible if you can impress, if he's trying to impress me? And I said yes. So like, you mean it and you kind of don't, so you have to be conscious in what you're doing.
MashaAllah, you're right. So it's the whole point about not owning the feelings, because at every moment, either am I on the receiver side or the giver side. I'm always imparted or experiencing some sort of feeling, such as kindness, compassion, taking care. I'm the loving one. And yeah, I'm the one that's taking care. I'm the one that's just being kind, or even it can also be the other way around, that I'm in need to be loved. Rather, yes, we are in need to be loved, but that love is being reciprocated by the owner of the universe, or that love is being given, not from the omelet, not from Dr. Ali, but it's given to us by the one that brings this universe into existence. So anything in general, you know, we desire lots of things, and ding dongs, there's a package at the door, and you're like, yay, thank you, right, to the doorman. Or, you know, it's we said thank you to the means, but at the end of the day, who's the real sender of everything? Even the feeling of love, compassion, caring, it's given. It's really manifested in each one of us, so we recognize the true bestower of bounties. You know, I was just thinking about, I was reading this blog, not a blog, it was actually an article. So this guy was talking about how in the tech industry, everything becomes so automated, robotic, you know, even you get automated response. So you don't even know who's sitting behind a response that you get. And, you know, it's almost that we are created, and it seems that we are being programmed. I'm not creating anything of my own. I'm not just programming any of my feelings. It's being imparted onto me. So if I am conscious, like you were saying, Rayan, and if I'm sticking with this awareness, then I know that it's the programmer or the source of my existence or the creator of the universe is the one that's bringing me these feelings of care, love, and being compassionate towards others. It's for me, at least, to be honest, it's a rough journey because it's easy to get lost in appropriating the feelings to myself. Yes, I know everything is created, the onion is created, and I just mixed a bunch of things. But at the end of the day, I think we have to be very, at least I'm speaking for myself, be very careful that the love and care that is manifested does not belong to me. And even when I receive something from someone, it's not from them, but it's from their creator of the universe. So that's how we receive things. So just alhamdulillah, I wanted to hammer in on this concept, because for the author to be sharing this hadith, and even for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be mentioning something like that with keywords like danger, sincere. I mean, I think that's huge. You know, even the way it's presented, it's really walking us through the journey of how we go on with step 1, use your abilities, create something. Step 2, you know, experience or like practice the feeling of compassion or love. And step 3, hey, make sure return everything back to its owner, just like Brother Ali said at the beginning, just return it back to the source of its origin. So just wanted to share on that. Alhamdulillah, inshallah, may we all live with this awareness, inshallah. So let's see, are there any comments from anyone? Hey, Mariam Ostermeyer, I see a little timer next to your name. Usually, did you want to say something about the time? I mean, I know you're not away, but is there any reason why you have the timer up, the clock? Okay. All right, you can feel free to put it on the chat. And then also, I don't want to disregard Aswa's comment. Aswa says to take credit of making the omelet puts that sincerity in danger. Yeah, you're right. That's true. That's the second step in terms of taking credit. But then there is more to it in terms of the feelings that we have to make sure even we do not own our feelings. All right, thank you. Khadija Beza, yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you for all the discussion so far, very helpful. I kind of wanted to share my takeaways from what's been said, which, you know, it seems that, you know, as the hadith here progresses from like all men will perish except the scholars, and then the scholars except those who act in accordance with their knowledge, and even those except those who are sincere, and even the sincere are in danger. It seems that the nature of one who is sincere, it necessitates that they're in danger. By definition, since sincerity encompasses this sense of consciousness and realization that everything is given to me. So one who is truly sincere is aware of the fact that even this realization is given to them. Thereby, since this realization is not guaranteed, it's not from that person themselves, in and of themselves, because of that reason, like it's not, there's no necessary correlation between one's action to be sincere and the act of being sincere, truly being sincere. Because if I say I'm going to, you know, if I say I'm being sincere as a result of my efforts to be sincere, that kind of, you know, kills the entire purpose of what sincerity is based on this text, or it's contradictory to it. So since the entire premise is based on me being the recipient of everything, and through this kind of like journey within the hadith, these like additional levels of consciousness that are taking place, because everything is given, and since everything is given, I am not the one who gives it to myself or necessarily makes anything necessary to be given to me. It's always in a state of danger, as in it's never dependent on me. I'm never the independent factor. I'm never the X variable. I'm always Y, is what I understand from what's been said. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. This was great. You're right. It's all pointing to being sincere within oneself, as in knowing your reality in terms of how we're just bestowed with existence and we're just practicing it. Thank you for pointing that one out. Is there anyone else who wants to share something? Asifa, go ahead, please. Asifa, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I mean, we can hear you.
Jazakallah khair. I'm just trying to make sure that my mic is working. I just had a question regarding all this. Alhamdulillah, everything was so much clearer, especially with Dr. Ali's input and explanation, not only of the religion, but also of, how we can put sincerity in danger. Now, my question, I was like kind of reflecting more, and this popped up in my mind that, for instance, I just want to give a gift to someone. They help me out, for instance, they help me move. And it was a blessing from my creator that they were able to help me. And, as a nice gesture of kindness, I wanted to give them a gift. It could be anything. So when I give that to them, I feel like this is, I will be sincere in terms of, I am connected with my source of existence and whoever has given me all these, the aid that he has provided me to this person that I'm actually giving a gift to. But now I feel like my sincerity will still be in danger because I am not sure how the person receiving that gift will take it. So he might praise me just because I gave him something, not realizing that, even me giving him or her something is actually given through the absolute. I'm still a little this is a little not clear in these terms to me. I mean, I would love anybody who can help me, clarify this. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair, Asifa. Thank you for the practical question. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's very real. That's true. So I'm thinking, so your question is more about like two parts. So what kind of acknowledgement should I have when I give a gift to someone? So you're saying that part is, it's all about the acknowledgement. And the second part of your question is about what do I do with the other person's attitude towards it? Or is it any of my concern? I'm not sure if I got the question right, but this is how I took it in. Feel free to correct me.
That is correct.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, great. So here's a question, ladies and gentlemen, thrown out there. Please feel free to share out what you take from it, or, how would you approach such? We would love to hear your comments. Ali Murmur, go ahead, please.
I cannot guarantee that I will give a satisfactory answer, but I'm just reflecting. It was a good practical example. First of all, we must establish that my relationship with my creator pertains to me and my creator, but the other people's reception of my relationship is not my concern. I should forget about them. What I have to do within wisdom, act wisely. I have to act wisely. If I give this present, this gift to this person, whether he may feel offended, think about it. But as long as you know that it will be something, a means of good relationship, a pleasurable life for the person, I will give it. But the problem of sincerity is nothing to do with the recipient of the gift. The problem of sincerity with me and between me and my creator. So while, of course, I have to use some terminology. If a kind person who doesn't believe in God, don't we see that they also give presents to each other? They also behave kindly, treat each other kindly. They do. They are called humanists. Humanist people are very kind people. What's wrong with it then, to be a humanist? Of course, we clearly understand that the difference between a person who is very kind and very respectful to other people in his own name. It means, I am a kind person. But a believer doesn't say, I am a bad person. No, but at the same time doesn't say, I am a kind person. What does he say? Clearly and explicit, and to make the case explicitly understood, I am created with the sense of kindness. The sense of kindness is the quality of my Creator manifested in my being. So I am practicing what belongs to my Creator, not belong to me. As if somebody gives you certain amount of money in order to give it to a needy person. When you go and present this amount of money to the needy person, can you claim that you are a kind person to give this amount of money to this person? Or you just say, I am employed by this generous person to transfer this amount of money to the needy person, and I am very thankful that he employed me for a good service, for a good reason. And I come back to the person. I thank this person who gave me the money twice. One, because he was kind to give the money to the poor person. The second thanking is because he employed you for a good reason, for a good purpose. He could have not, but he has chosen you. That, as the second aspect, is completely missing in the minds of unbelieving humanist people. We have to be careful. I am chosen to be a human being. I have to be thankful to my Creator for choosing me to create in the form of a human being. This is a very interesting matter. For example, we have to understand it. I have to give another examples to make it as simple as possible for myself to understand. For example, I believe in God. Okay, I believe in God's religion, which is Islam. Okay, I'm satisfied with it. Fine. In Islamic religion, God asks the people to pray. Oh yeah, I am a good practicing Muslim, so I am praying. I am obeying the order. I prayed. Did I reach the sincerity? I don't know. Maybe, may not be. Why? When you pray, did you say that I prayed to God, I obeyed, I am a good abd? Or were you aware that my Creator gave me the ability, opportunity, has chosen me to practice prayer? It was God's choice, not my choice. Earlier on, during the first period of today's discussion, Asim said, even the free will does not belong to me. It is given to me. I am given the privilege, I am given the privilege to practice the free will, so that while I am practicing the free will to perform the prayer, I have to acknowledge the one who enabled me to perform the prayer. I will have no claim over my prayers. That is sincerity. Otherwise, I can be proud of saying or claiming that I never missed any prayer for a week, for 7 days. I always performed my prayers in time. And this causes a sense of pride in my being. That means I am owning it. I am not being thankful to the Creator by acknowledging the opportunity He has given to me. I think that may help in order to clarify the difference between a humanist and a kind believer. A humanist means a kind man who doesn't believe in God, but he's a very respectful, a kind person. But again, a kind person, but a believer in God. Where the difference lies is sincerity. One of them is sincere, the other one is hypocrite. Why hypocrite? Because the sense of kindness is given to him, but he doesn't acknowledge it. He attributes this sense of kindness to himself and claims that I am a good human being. That is hypocrisy, not sincerity. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, this was a great explanation, at least for me. It helps me clarify the case much better in terms of really, I should be just concerned with, first of all, my relationship between me and the source of my existence. And I try my best within the conditions available just to make sure that I tie all my interactions to its appropriate source. And and I also like the example of in general, human nature is such that everybody wants to help people out, being kind, but then at the end of the day, it's all being in acknowledgement of one's reality or the purpose of one's existence, where I know that everything is given to me, even my emotions and feelings, and that's just like something profound, at least for me, it's to practice. Because Brother Ali, you're right when you were having the conversation with Rayan that we grow up in a civilization that does not, that just appropriates everything to just itself. Like, be kind, world peace, or I don't. I mean, people have all these notions, but then for what, or where does it all go at the end of the day? I don't choose to be kind to people around me, especially a mother and a child is a very beautiful example. It's given, the mother is given this sense of compassion towards the child. It's not coming from her own. She's just utilizing the free will that's given to let it flow freely, to be compassionate towards her children and the household. So Alhamdulillah, thank you. That was great. And Asifa says, Jazakallah khair, very clear for me as well. Yay. Exactly. Mariam Ostomer, I was just going to call up on you because it's 5:32. I was like, hey, we need your notes. So that looks like good stuff over there. You were aware part of the class. Yeah, I saw the little timer, but that's okay. So now let's hear from you because we didn't get to hear your voice. So can you please read up your beautiful notes? Maryam Ostomer, if you can hear me, you can't read now, but someone else can. Okay, so let's assign Maryam and Rayan. Maryam and Rayan, let's go. Someone pick up the notes that Maryam put up. Thanks. Let me just.
Okay. Notes. 1. All of your qualities have to be returned to the owner of them in the end. 2. Whatever value you attach to an object belongs to him, because learning how to give an object a value belongs to him. 3. If you are sincere and not humble about it, this goes against our prophet's teachings. Like how it said in the text, I think it was even the sincere ones are in danger. 4. There is a difference between a humanist and a believer. A humanist is kind in his own name. A believer is kind because they think I am created with a sense of kindness. One is sincere on his hypocrite. I'm sorry I couldn't read more notes. I was away part of the class.
Jazakallah khair, Maryam Syed for reading the notes, and Maryam Ostomer for sharing these beautiful gems. They are amazing. I'm really looking into those again. I think inshallah a lot needs to be digested from these notes. They cover the class well, and you have lots of applauses as usual, virtually and here as well. I hope all is well, and I think this is it for now. If anyone wants to just say a last comment or anything, feel free to do so. If not, then inshallah next week we will pick up from page 201, which is the first point. Inshallah. Okay. All right. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Innaka anta alimul hakim. Glory be unto you. We have no knowledge save except that which you've taught us. Indeed, you are all knowledgeable, all wise. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati Rasulat al-Fatiha. Ameen. Really, thank you all for coming in, joining us on this Sunday afternoon. Very much appreciated listening to each other or just being here in good company. And thank you all who contributed, and really jazakallah khair. May we all stay blessed. Ameen. And until next weekend, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum, jazakallah.
Thank you.
Wa alaikum assalam. Wa yakum.
Thank you very much. Jazakumullah. So, Feriha and H. Beza, can we talk about this Excel sheet? I